watching Faith World TV. Faith World TV, changing the world with the Word of God.
A very good afternoon, good morning, and good evening from wherever you're watching us. Yes, we are live, another exciting show. And I think you can see on the table there's a display of books. Yes, I am here with an author of the book called Trauma to Transform. So I want you glued on this show today because I know that if it's not you, somebody else has gone through trauma during childhood. Help me welcome on the show the beautiful, the amazing, the wonderful Eunice. Hey, shall I do drum roll for you?
Hi everyone.
Drum roll. How you doing?
I'm really good, thank you. Thank you for having me on this show. I'm really excited to share some of the aspects of the book.
Actually, let's tell people that actually we come from East Africa and we speak Swahili. So I'm going to greet you in Swahili. Habari yako?
Nzuri sana.
Aha, Swahili yako sanifu.
Hata wewe.
Now, it's up to you guys that are watching. Go and find out the meaning of what we just said. Now, once again, welcome to the show. I'm excited about, your book, Trauma to Transformed. I know it took you about 4 years to write this book. But first of all, when I picked this book, I think it's so beautiful. I mean, I'm sure the viewers at home can see it. We have some there, over there. And look at it. It's the color, royal color, purple. And then you've got that cage. And then you've got this woman coming out of it. Talk me through the cover first before we even talk about this book.
So the inspiration behind the cover looks at healing. So when people have trauma, they feel that they're being caged. They can't speak, they can't talk, they can't communicate to anybody about what's going on in whatever trauma they're in. Mm-hmm. So this book is really about going through the journey of being in trauma, understanding it, and then coming out on the other side, healed, having hope, having no fear, and just being able to express yourself. That's what this whole
cage is about.
Yes.
Because I can see you enter that cage and then it looks quite, sparkly in there. And then, of course, you've got the purple, which symbolizes, royalty. It's like you're healed and you're free.
Yes.
Now, the topic that we are discussing today is protecting our children from incest. Letting the children know from a young age what's abuse and what's not abuse, and these sort of abuses that start from home. What inspired you to write this book? Because I know that issues like incest are covered in the book, like sort of touched in the book. But what really inspired you?
My inspiration behind this book is really about learned lessons from the people that I've known, walks of life, and for some of my experience, and just to share. I think everybody's got there's a purpose in life. My purpose was to share some of these stories, just to ensure that other people who might be in the same predicament, can go in there and feel, okay, that's happened to me as well. How do you deal with that? So from each chapter, basically you have a learnt lessons.
Right.
So questions that you can reflect on and work through.
Yeah.
And it just goes through the whole era from the moment the child was born all the way to an adult and to the today.
Yeah. And this book you recommend not just for people that have gone through trauma, but also for parents. Would you recommend for parents to read this book, or people who are aspiring to become parents?
Absolutely. So caregivers, parents, teenagers, pretty much it will help you in any aspect in your life. And even people that have been through trauma or who think haven't got trauma, but once they read something like this, things will start coming out that you probably didn't even think about.
Oh, yeah, what you just said there, that people might have gone through trauma, but they don't know that it's trauma.
Correct.
And so they're going through their lives, living this you live this life where you have this heavy weight on your shoulder, but you don't know what this weight is until maybe you read a book like this and you find out, so this is the trauma that I've been suffering from. I mean, I'll give, for instance, this show is about you today, but let me just briefly share my story. I come from a large family, and most of the people in my family are light skinned. And I happen to be, back then I would have said unlucky. I would have said unluckily I was the dark one, but now I say luckily I was the dark one and beautiful. Yes, but anyway, I was made to feel ugly, very ugly. I was left behind, almost like I wasn't part of that family. Yep. But I carried on in life there's certain things that I did and certain things I questioned, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know it was trauma. So you see, what you just said there, that you can live your life as an adult right now, not knowing that you're actually carrying so much trauma.
Absolutely.
How does one, unpack the trauma? The book says trauma to transformed. I mean, it's not that easy. How can you? No. It's like it's almost like you're saying, okay, from here to there, it's just easy. How does one,
It's actually a bit of a process. There's a bit of a process there. You have to unpack it. So you have to own it, first of all.
Own the trauma.
You have to own it. And
accept it, you mean?
Own it, accept it. And I found that when you write about it, you're putting it down. When you speak into it, you're speaking about it. Because when you internalize something for years and years, it stays with you, but you're not dealing with it. But the moment you put it on paper,
right,
and you look at it deeply, it kind of really helps you understand you're dealing with.
Right. And so it took you 4 years to write this book. Why 4? Why not 1 year or 6 months, 3 months? Why 4?
Because there's a lot to unpack, and
yes.
I just needed to structure it in a way that would make sense to anybody reading it, and anybody with any form of trauma, if they read it and did the exercises at the end of each chapter, would actually come up with some answers to some of the things that they're dealing with or haven't dealt with properly. So I wanted it to be a more of a wholesome book that could help anybody.
And then you've got some beautiful poems in this book. Which one is your favorite?
I really like the last one I read. It's called Light from Light on page 52.
What page? Page 52?
Yeah.
Right, okay, let's go page 52. Right, Light from Light.
Okay.
Right. Well, would you like to read it? Yeah. And perhaps I'll also help you read it.
That'd be good.
Yes.
Yeah. Light from light. Light from light, gift to gift we lift. We hold high with praise and grace with joy. The light within shines bright, a radiant gift. Its glow entices, reveling in bliss.
Wow, also positive. Now, let me read my bit. The good, the brilliant, the wonderful all glow from light to light, from gift to gift. We flow, we explore, we give, and together we shine, making moves that encourage, embrace, and align. If this was a real theater, you would cast me. Right, it goes on.
Reaching out we gather, hearts entwined, faces smiling, in giving joy we find. Speaking life, connecting soul to soul, in unity we flourish, we are whole.
Ooh, I feel whole already. Okay, and it continues, forward we journey into light of light, gift upon gift, our collective high, with love and grace as our steadfast guide, we bask in glow, standing side by side. Ooh, so deep, so positive. Each line is about, light to light. It's glowing, it's glowing. Is it a way of reassuring somebody who went through trauma that it's all right, everything's okay? Is that what it means?
It's about speaking positivity, even in your traumas that you've had, because you have to. The reason you go through them, you learn something out of them, And this is just embracing all the things that you've learned from them,
Right.
which is the light.
Yes. And I mean, people go through a lot of trauma. Maybe somebody was raped, somebody, went through domestic violence, somebody, lost their home or their business, different sort of trauma. So these days, okay, you go and find a therapist, Is that the same as, finding your own space, writing a book, or is it better to go and be a therapist opposed to pouring it in a book?
There is no right or wrong answer. I think you can do both. So, I mean, you can pour it out in your affirmations every morning by trying to uplift yourself.
Yeah.
Or you can become a prayer warrior and pray about it and have prayer points.
Yeah.
Or you can opt to go to a therapist and just talk about the past, and they'll just keep digging on different aspects of that. I think it's a mixture of a lot of things, it's not just one thing.
Now, let's go back to the topic of the day, which is, protecting our children from incest. And, this is a taboo. This is something, I think from the part of the world that we come from, we don't talk much about this. And, there are cases whereby you'll go and confide in your mother, and it's almost like your mouth is glued, like you're not supposed to talk about this. Like you're supposed to forget, don't even remember that this happened to you. I mean, what would you say? I mean, because I know the world hasn't moved on still. These things are still going on, If there was a parent that was watching right now, a mom especially watching right now, trying to protect someone who abused a child in the home, what would you tell that woman?
Firstly, before telling them what to do, I think they need to also understand what it is and how it starts. So having someone do that to anybody, it could be a parent, it could be an uncle, it could be a cousin, or even a sibling. So you just have to be very aware about who your children are around. More importantly, you have to teach your children about what is right and what is wrong in terms of knowing their bodies from a really early age.
Right. From what age do you
I'd say
recommend?
from about 2, because at 2...
From 2, isn't that too early?
Or 2 to 3. But they do understand when they have showers. This is, they know these are the private parts. And
nobody should touch me there.
Yeah, but then you need to use the right language here as well. You need to say the actual names of the parts rather than saying it's something else.
Right.
So call it correctly. Understand that, they can come to you at any time if there's anything wrong, that you're there to listen. So communication is really important. That they have an open door. You can be close to them in that aspect. It's just making sure that you know your child and you can see changes in behavior.
Right.
When things start changing, because usually behaviors are the first signs.
I know that in the beginning of your sentence, you said something like that parents need to be aware who they are around. But incest, that means it's a relative abusing someone from the home. So you're supposed to trust your relative. So how can a mom, for instance, be careful about a father taking care of their own child?
Well, that's a good question. There's always a sixth sense. You have a feeling. And good parents have good values.
Women have instincts.
Yeah,
as well.
the instincts, you'll always know, and you'll still see behaviors changing, and you'll notice certain things not working out with the child. Maybe they become more angry. Maybe they start wetting their beds or doing anything untoward. That's not normal. And that can happen with anybody. So whether it's a father or a mother or an uncle or cousin, you will just see that behavior.
Yes.
But then it's the parents need to be very close to their children to know what their normal behavior is and what abnormal behavior is. Then, of course, also because they go through adolescence, it's very tricky.
Yeah.
It's just about being open-minded and talking to them on a regular basis.
What about that woman that's trying to protect her marriage?
Well, the first thing they should be doing is protecting their child. Children need to be
Child
protected
first, husband last.
100%. Child always first.
I mean, as I said, that this is a taboo. Like, is a subject that, people run away from. Even people that are older, that have gone through, abuse, still don't want to talk about it. They just want to put a lid on it. They want to put a lid on it. Is it something that you think maybe the church should get involved? Schools should get involved? It's something that, involvement should be more than the home, outside the home. There should be,
Absolutely. I agree. I agree with everything that you just said there. 100%. Schools are very key in teaching children about these kind of things, and they do actually cover them in their religious education, PHSE, I believe, is what they use in schools. So they learn about their sexual relationships and how what to look out. And in churches as well, they teach about that. So yeah, they're very key in terms of like making sure the child understands and the parents understand what's right and what is wrong.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm trying to say, like, for instance, in school, should there be like a subject on its own tackling this?
I'm not sure.
Or do you think that they'll be going too far?
It might be too far. They should definitely touch it in their existing subjects as a topic.
Yeah, because I know that in schools now, do they teach them about like their sexuality?
They do.
Yeah, so if that can be a subject, how come they can't make this a subject? Protecting our children from incest. Shouldn't that be a subject, really? Surely.
Possibility.
Yeah. Do you think that we should start campaigning for that?
We could.
Yes. Yeah, it could start here, because I think it's a real issue. I mean, we're looking at it like, maybe it's people that have grown up and they went through that, but there are some young people going through the same right now. And they, because they don't want to be shamed at school, they will not be talking about it. Because they don't want to be shamed at home, they will not be talking about it at home. So where do they go?
That is a good question.
Where do they go?
I mean, for those sorts of things, I mean, there's helplines, there's child helplines available, but you can't necessarily talk about those things very freely.
That's right.
I feel there's a gap.
There is a gap. Hence, I think that there should be a way that people can't talk about the same way now children are being told about, they can freely talk about their sexuality, not be ashamed of it, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's the same way now. I think that they should open the flood and say, you know what, children need to be able to talk about somebody abused them at home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Abuse at home, where you're supposed to be protected,
Yes.
it's just incredible. Hi, welcome to the show. Where are you calling from?
Okay, I think I'm always the first caller on this show. Okay, my name is Olivia from Nigeria. Mom is your daughter that is getting married this weekend.
From Nigeria. She's, you know what? It's true. She's always the first caller on this show. So we're talking about incest.
Yes,
protecting our children from incest. What do you think? What's your take?
Yes, I'm watching it right now. I have to pause it because of the call. So the topic is a very sensitive one because it has to do with family.
Yes.
Yeah, it has to do with family, and if it is not well handled, it can cause trust issues, it can cause trauma to the child, and it can also scatter family, especially if it is not handled well. But personally, to me, if I give birth to a child, I'm going to trust my child first before any other thing.
Right. You're going to put your
If my
child
child,
first.
yeah, if my child should tell me anything about somebody, I'm going to trust what my child says before. I'm not going to believe an outsider over my child because I know my child.
And okay. So what about your husband or your brother or?
Oh yeah, again, okay, I wanted to say something else. I forgot what I was trying to say. So, what I was saying, to avoid things like this, you just like what the speaker said. You just have to open about a lot of things to your children. There is no age limit to knowledge. Immediately they start talking.
Yes.
You will have to tell them the good, the bad, in a way they can understand. The way you talk to a 2-year-old is different from the way you talk to a 10-year-old, and it's different from the way you are going to talk. It's different from the way you are going to talk to a 30-year-old. You are going to talk to them the language that they will understand, provided you are passing the right language to them. They understand you. Just the way in primary and nursery school now. There's this song I think they sing. That's something like a dress is my private part. This is my private part. Do not touch them. There's something like that. You can equate it into song just for the toddler or the child to understand it. And then you see, if there are other people living in the house with you, you will have to be extra vigilant.
But because the home is where the child should be protected.
Yes. The extra vigilance is because you want to protect your child.
Right.
It's because you want to protect your child. Because there are some things. When it comes to family, there's a way family will add. Oh, they will start pleading. They will start saying blood is thicker than water.
Yeah. Oh yes.
The financial, I recharged 10,000 naira airtime. The amount of airtime already. I really wanted to talk a lot on this call.
So, do you think it's a pandemic? It's an issue at the moment, like children being abused in their homes.
It's an issue right now. A lot of this is going on in a lot of home, but people don't say them out. Even the children, they don't say them out because they don't even have a relationship with their own parents. So they hold it, they get being abused until when they decide to fight out on their own. You see an issue today, but people don't speak out. Because of the way the society is wired, the victim will speak out, and then everybody will shame the victim and forget the person that did the wickedness.
And so, where do we place the church? Oh, I think she's gone. There's something she just said that the victim is going to be blamed, and that happens a lot, doesn't it? It still happens now. It happens a lot.
Even when you report.
Could it be why the victims don't speak and they stay with this trauma all their lives?
Yes. I mean, if they know they're not going to be listened to, or someone's not going to believe them, it becomes a problem because they're not being listened to. They're just being hushed.
Yes.
It becomes a problem.
But why would a mother not believe what the child says?
I think there's a lot of reasons. I mean, sometimes because of cultural upbringing, so a mother is taught to believe that once you're married, you have to be submissive, you have to stay in the marriage. Anything that goes on in the house stays in the house. It doesn't go anywhere. There's nowhere for them, there's no sanctuary for them to go to. I mean, in a lot of African cultures, abroad or here, anywhere, it's taboo to talk about what's happening in your home.
Right.
So they try to brush it off.
Yeah. And hence the pandemic of the trauma,
it carries on.
Yeah, once people are grown up, then, there's some sort of even rebellion. Even people try to cut themselves out from that home.
Yep.
You know, people, you know, once they remember, they recollect, you know, everything they went through, you know, and nobody believing them. That's the biggest problem as well, that nobody believes you. It's like now in a home, there might be two camps, those who believe you and those who don't believe you. Yeah. How does one deal with that? How does the victim deal with that?
Sickness. It was trauma. With trauma, you get sick. You become ill.
Yeah.
Internally. You might feel okay on the outside.
Yeah.
You know, on your makeup, look good, and smile and laugh. But internally, you're suffering, you're bleeding, you're screaming out, and you can't get it out. So it becomes a...
Yeah. So when you wrote this book, did you write it in mind with, you know, what's happening in our continent, in East Africa? Well, Africa as a whole. I don't want to say East Africa because that's where we're from, but did you write it in mind with what's happening in Africa? Because the caller just from Nigeria says it's a pandemic. You know, it's happening in the homes and people are not talking, still being brushed. So did you write it with that in mind?
No, I actually wrote it in mind that it can happen anywhere. So
Right.
even in the UK, you know, so it happens a lot. So it's not just Africa, it's not just in India, Asia, America. I mean, the world is just ever changing.
Yeah.
And it's carrying on everywhere. It's the norm, it's accepted, and people just don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's easier to ignore than to deal with it. There's so many levels that you have to go through to be able to deal with it properly.
I mean, in the book, you sort of write about, you know, being hushed, manipulated innocence. That manipulated innocence. That is page 18. Can you just sort of like summarize? Yeah, page 18. About the manipulated innocence. Yeah. So as a teenager, is it like the manipulation, you get manipulated, or how? I didn't understand that chapter. Can you like just, you know, enhance it?
So the manipulation comes from the abuser. So as you grow up as an adolescent, you probably don't actually understand what's going on.
Yes.
Because you're in two phases. You're being abused, and then you're also going through adolescence, but you're not really going through adolescence.
So you're trying to get out of the abuse, or you're trying to get out of the trauma.
You're trying to get out of the trauma.
At this point, abuse has stopped.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get out of the trauma.
Yes. But it doesn't get out because it's still in you.
Okay.
So your innocence, the innocence
inbuilt.
It's inbuilt, and it stays with you until you decide to work on it.
Right.
And working on it is a number of things. I mean, lots of things can happen to do that, but you have to actually want to work on it yourself.
Right.
And for a lot of people, they use the Bible as a form of, you know, a sanctuary where they can ask God for forgiveness. They can forgive those that have done these things to them. And they can ask God to give them hope and protect them from a further abuse to happen.
What about the guilt that a victim feels? They feel like maybe it was their fault, that they made themselves available to abuse. Some people feel guilty. They feel like it was their fault.
I mean, if it happens as a child, a child can't feel that way because if they're being groomed from a very young age, you know, they're being groomed, so they don't know what is right and what is wrong. But eventually, as they get older, they understand, oh, that's not correct, or, you know, how do I get out of this?
And as a child, as you grow older, is seeking justice part of the healing process? You know, if it's a dad or an uncle that abused you, or a cousin, and you seek justice, you want them to go to jail. I mean, is it something that they should consider?
They can consider that if they feel strong enough to go through all the trauma that they've had to be put through. Because obviously, if you go through the courts, you have to go through all the evidence, and you have to stand up in court and give evidence and everything. I think so long as the person is strong enough to be able to deal with going back into the trauma, it's fine. And I think it only happens when the person is fully healed and accepted that, this is the right path. This is how I'm going to let everything go.
Yeah. Can one heal completely, forgive and forget, and not, prosecute? You think it's possible?
I think it depends how you want to deal with it. It depends the severity of it.
Yes.
It depends how it's really affected you, and it depends on how you feel that person is behaving now. Are they still behaving in that way towards other people or not? So there's a lot of factors that you have to think about. Some people are just willing just to forget and carry on with their lives as normal, and that's fine if they can deal with that. But some people just can't do it.
Yeah.
And it causes a lot of illnesses. As I said, sometimes you can become ill because you're keeping something in for so long. Because our body, it reacts to trauma.
And I suppose the mother also goes through trauma, because when the mother finds out that her child was abused, doesn't she also go through the same process, or do you think the mom just brushes it off?
And it depends on the mother. So if the culturally African mother, for example, who's taught to be submissive, to stay in the marriage, to keep quiet, they'll just sweep it under the carpet.
Right.
A more modern mother of today, they'll go and report it, and they'll listen to the child, and they'll feel the pain the child's feeling. They'll do something about it.
And would you see that as betrayal if the mom doesn't act, doesn't do anything about it, or doesn't even leave? If, let's say, it's the dad that abused, doesn't also leave the man, would you think that child might think that that's actually betrayal on the mom's side?
Absolutely. 100%.
Because that does happen. It does happen a lot, and I don't know, for me, when that happens, I sort of feel really bad for the woman. I feel bad for the mom.
Yeah, it's probably quite tough.
Yeah.
To be able to make that decision of not doing anything.
Yes.
Just being silent.
Because probably here you are this woman who's really bragging about her marriage being perfect. And then this comes out, that your husband has abused your child. How do you even, I think that trauma, that woman should go for healing alongside that child. Yes. Because for me, I think that woman has been abused as well.
Most likely.
Yeah. Wow. As this is a really sensitive topic. Usually I like to speak much on this show, and I just find myself today I can't speak much, because this thing that we're talking about right now, like the caller said, it's a pandemic. It is a pandemic. Now, I'm looking at page 44. It says, letter to my abuser. And it seems quite deep. Are you able to summarize it?
Well, I think one of the ways of healing...
There's anger. There's some sort of really deep anger in there.
Yeah, so what's really important when you need to sort of learn to have to heal from something is putting yourself in the childlike person.
Yeah.
And then in that childlike person, now as an adult, you're writing how you feel and how that's really affected you in as much detail and in as much expression, using the right expression And that's what this is about. And it's really important to do that, because once you write it, it kind of clears up everything.
From letter to my abuser, I'm sort of thinking maybe should the victim would have picked up the call and said this to the abuser, or is it easy for the victim to put it in a book, just to pour it all out in the book with anger?
The victim could do.
I wonder if I could read. I read
sure.
one or two paragraphs
Yeah, sure.
of it. Yeah. So it says, "Letter to my abuser. You are a disgusting piece of filth. You ruined me, took my virginity, childhood, and everything from me. How dare you? You're a very sick man. You made me think it was right to drink alcohol and be promiscuous and do all of those nasty acts you taught me. To make matters worse, I even enjoyed it. I hate you for abusing and removing my childhood innocence." See that anger, the anger from the victim. Anger.
Important to express it.
Yes.
Because you can't internalize it.
You can't, yes.
And internalizing it isn't good. So I think one of the biggest ways of dealing with any type of trauma is expressing it fully on paper.
Yes.
And journaling.
But what about expressing to the abuser? When do they get the chance to experience your anger?
And they can, if you wish.
Do they have to, like, when you put it on pen and paper or in a book, they probably don't want to read the book, so they don't know you're angry. But you've poured all the anger in the book.
It's a valid.
When do they get to experience your anger? Because they need to experience that anger. Don't you think? They need to experience that anger so that you're healed. Whoever has been abused heals. I'll continue. Let me read. "I have suffered throughout my life because of you. How I wish you were not in my life after all you have done to my sisters and me. You betrayed our trust, head of the family. You're a nasty, selfish piece of scum. I hate you so much." See, I'm picturing the victim and the abuser in one room, where the victim is probably trying to tell the abuser, "This is what you did to me, and I hate you," and the abuser is denying. I'm seeing that scenario because this is what most of them, especially when the victim is an adult and confronts the abuser, who is now double or triple the age. Yeah, there's always that denial. How does a victim deal with denial from the abuser?
That's a difficult one. Denial is a hard one to deal with, to be honest, because either they've done it or they haven't done it, but you know they've done it. There's no video proof. There's no real evidence. That
there was no third party. There was nobody in there to see.
Yeah,
Just
so it's their word against your word. That's where the difficulty is. So they can keep denying it, but you know that's not true.
Right.
It's for you to just accept that they will never say sorry, accept that they are in denial of their actions, and just move on.
Yes. Yep. Just leave it, close that chapter, and move on.
Yep.
Wow. Deep, 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 deep. Right. Let's move on to. I think there was another page that I found quite interesting. Oh yeah, where you're saying, dear parent and carer. Page 67. Page 67. So, dear parent, carer, in today's world, it's crucial not to shy away from equipping our children with the tools they need. I think we do have a caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
With the tools they need. I think we do have a caller. Hi, welcome to the show. Hello, hi, my name is Sandra, and I just wanted to make a comment about confronting the abuser.
Yes, please, go ahead.
So I think one of the benefits of writing down the thoughts into a book is that, yes, you get your thoughts out and your feelings, but I think it may be that you are looking for, if you confront your abuser, you may have an expectation that they will listen and they may not listen, or you may have an expectation of some kind of acceptance. And as you said, they may be in denial. So it might be even re-traumatizing for the victim to express their feelings to the perpetrator, and the perpetrator absolutely ignores them. So that's a risk as well, that, you know, your expectation may not be met, that they will actually have some form of remorse. They may not.
Right.
And I think that writing it down is good. Letter can be given, and they can either keep it or not. But for the victim themselves, at least, it's kind of clearing. And I think there is that danger sometimes of being re-traumatized.
That's that word,
by the
re-traumatized.
perpetrator.
Yeah, Sandra, that word that you just put in there is so deep, re-traumatized, you know, because you're already dealing with a trauma that you haven't transformed from, and then you confront your abuser, and then the trauma, you know, comes back again, it piles back again. Yeah, you're right, it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one because...
And also, the victim themselves may not have to be the person to confront the perpetrator. There's the police, there are other services that takes that pressure off the victim. You know, so I don't for one second believe that they should get away with it. It doesn't necessarily have to be the victim themselves facing their perpetrator, because that can be so... I can hardly imagine how that would be so difficult to do.
Yeah, because, you know, just walking away and just saying that, you know, forgive and forget, it's so difficult because you somehow you feel like you've lost, you've been defeated, you know, you feel like he's won and you've lost. But at the same time, sometimes, you know, victims want to hide the fact that they were abused, you know, because we still live in a society where people point fingers and people will use your story to shame you, you know, and it's a shame.
You know, yeah, that's true. But I mean, if we're looking at the Bible, does the Bible say we have to be our brother's keepers?
Right.
So if we are our brother's keepers, if we are looking out for each other, we can't protect abusers. We have to call it out. And the vulnerable who are relying on the adults around them to protect them, the children, who do they go to? Who's looking after the children's needs? Who's safeguarding the children if the adults themselves are protecting the abusers? So I think as communities, we need to be, you know, we know it's the cultural taboo, we know this, but we can't allow this to keep continuing. There's a pandemic out there, so we have the responsibility to look out for the children and to educate our community and to put an end to it.
It's
or at least reduce it. But ideally an end. You know?
Yeah, it's a really tough one. I mean, as I said, this subject is so sensitive because when you think about it, the one that's supposed to protect you in the home is the one abusing you.
Absolutely.
So where do you go? You know?
Because the abuser knows that they're being protected by cultural taboos.
That's right. Well,
so we need to remove that.
Thank you so much, Sandra. Thank you for your contribution there. We do appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Wow. That when she said re-traumatize, that is
trigger.
That is deep. That the trigger. The trigger. That's deep. So anyway, she called while I was trying to read page 67, right?
Yes.
So, dear parent and carer, in today's world, it's crucial not to shy away from equipping our children with the tools they need to navigate life's complexities. More than any other, this generation requires our candid honesty You're right. This generation, enduring love and unwavering support as they navigate the unpredictable moments that shape their future. Here are some of the mentoring tips tailored to various relationships and situations. So for young parents, so trigger to look for, pay attention to your emotional responses when interacting with your child. Notice patterns of behavior. I think we do have a caller. Hi, where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hi, where are you calling from?
I'm from Nigeria, your daughter. You'll come back again.
You call back.
The first caller.
Oh, okay. You're back. Okay. What do you want to share with us?
Yes. I wanted to say the book that she wrote,
we can hear you.
Is the way I can get the book that you display. There's a book you display on the show.
Yes.
If there's a way I can get it, I would love to get it. And then, secondly, I'm going to message you on WhatsApp. You're not replying.
She's having a go at me live on air. I will call you, okay? And the book, we will send you a book as a gift, right? Yeah. We'll send her the book as a gift.
Yeah. I would love to read the book.
She'll send you the book. As a gift. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
All right, so I've really enjoyed the topic.
Thank you so much. So, as I was reading, so seek support from mentors and therapists to work through these triggers and develop healthier coping mechanisms. So hidden messaging, secrets. Don't tell. So encourage open communication with your child to create a safe space for sharing thoughts and experiences. Because this goes on quite a lot, isn't it? Like, don't tell.
It's a secret.
Yeah.
And then they'll give you a gift, some sort.
Yeah, a sweet or something.
Yeah. Something more expensive.
Yeah.
Don't tell your mummy, don't tell your dad.
Yeah.
Start slowly.
Yeah.
And I mean, one of the biggest things is just children should never keep a secret. There's such thing as a secret.
There's no secret.
There's no secret
at all.
No
if you want to keep a secret as an adult, wait until you're an adult. But as a child, do not keep a secret. And do not accept that there's a secret. Yeah. Interesting. And then you have community leaders and family members. Create a sense of community and respect. Encourage learning wisdom, So, it says it takes a community to bring up a child. So create that space.
Yep.
Okay, and then internet influence. Talk about that.
Well, the internet's quite intense. I mean, there's too much out there. So, I mean, when do you allow your child to have a smartphone, for example? What are they accessing? And what are they doing? Their parental controls. I mean, I just think phones are a big no-no for younger children until maybe they're in secondary school. But even with that, just limiting it to what they really need.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And then now we go training your child about the facts of life. How do you start training a child facts of life? I mean, a child is supposed to be a child, like no pressure. So, I mean, giving facts of life from a young age, are you not putting pressure on that child? Or?
Not really facts of life, just about empathy, love, care. I mean, encouraging, if you're a Christian, you encourage them to go to church and they learn good things about, how to be a great Christian and the ways they should behave.
There's abuse in church as well, but we'll come back to that another day because there is abuse in church.
It's everywhere.
Everywhere. So, okay, and then we move on to fear of revealing and fear of consequences.
So there, as a parent, you just have to be calm. You have to accept believe what they say, and accept it and seek help.
Right.
If you don't know what to do about it, so counsellors or child support systems, and go to the GPs or doctors or friends and family. You just have to believe and tell your child there's no consequences. We're going to work through this. About working through whatever it is that they're going through.
But the first thing is is as a parent, you've got to believe your
Got to
child.
believe, yep.
Mhm.
Got to listen
Yes.
and show empathy.
Yeah. And then we have, okay, so helplines, child helplines and call centers. So parents are, encouraged to use these facilities. But also children, children they can call, right? The
Yeah, they
helplines,
can.
yeah. From what age can they call?
I'm not certain.
Mm-hmm.
About 13,
Yeah,
secondary school age.
yeah. But anything below that, it's who do they go to? And an innocent child is going through all that. It's terrible, isn't it?
It's about you.
Absolutely terrible.
It's just about people seeing the signs and working
Yes.
through.
Yes, yeah. And then, of course, as a child gets older, they then discover faith as a way of healing, talking to God, being close to God as a way of healing. Does that help?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And is there any formulas that you recommend?
And for younger children, I think affirmations and just being
Yeah,
positive
yeah.
and having positive positive energy, positive of people around you, being thankful, all those things help you be a better person and be around better people.
Yeah. And also learning to forgive.
That's an
Is that-
art. That's an art. It's very
But
difficult
Isn't that,
for young
isn't that
children.
not part of faith,
It is.
to forgive? So once you get close to God, do you think that somebody that has been abused, has gone through, this deep, deep trauma, can actually decide to forgive as opposed to prosecute? I mean, following faith, like if you are somebody who's quite close to God, would that person consider prosecuting?
Well, I believe there's two levels of this. So there's justice here on earth, and then there's justice in heaven. So I think if someone has done something absolutely horrendous, justice needs to be served here, and then forgiveness can happen after that. That
But
person.
go through.
But then
jail
the
first.
the real litmus test is, when they enter the kingdom of heaven, they're at the gate. Are they worthy to go into? It will be God the Almighty that will judge if they're worthy to enter the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
So it's not us mortals that will do that, and that's just my way of thinking.
Right.
But I think justice needs to be served so others know that this isn't correct behaviour. Even if the person is in denial, they know that this isn't correct, and you've been persecuted.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine.
Then after the prosecution, then there comes forgiveness. So your faith then applies.
It applies even through the whole process, but it's more so after that.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Like I said, I always talk. I say a lot, but today there's just not much I want to say, because I think that it's all in the book, but also at the same time, it's about reflecting about this pandemic. What is the solution? What's the way forward? What do you think?
I think we need to create some kind of organisation or a helpline or something which actually deals with this topic in greater detail.
Yes.
Where family members can call in and discuss it and get the right help whenever they need it.
Yeah, where family members can talk freely and feel free to talk. Where a mother is free to say that, yes, my husband abused my daughter, and this is where we are, this is where we're going, this is what's going to happen. And I think that's the most difficult part, is having those open conversations. Because there's a lot of guilt, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of misinformation as well.
Yes.
And denial and victimization and every ugly thing that comes with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if a mother was watching right now what advice would you give a mother that maybe has a child that has been abused in the home?
There is hope. Do not fear. There's people here that can help you. And this helpline that we're going to do, it will be a good source of help for you. So, do not fear. We're here to help. You're not alone. There's a lot of people that are probably going through the same thing as you. But do reach out to us,
You're not alone, yes. And of course, you can get the book Trauma to Transformed on Amazon. And you can also find the author on, social media, Instagram, Trauma to Transformed, on Facebook, and, I'm sure you're on YouTube as well. So thank you so much. And I want to say thank you to every caller. I want to say thank you in advance to, those who are going to get this book and those who have got hold of this book. We want to hear your reviews. And please, if you have gone through any trauma, this book will help you heal. This book will help you heal. Thank you so much. Thank you. We really do appreciate. And, we will come back and talk about this subject again and again and again until the pandemic is gone. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, goodbye.
Bye.
You are watching Faith World TV. Faith World TV, changing the world with the Word of God.